attention. It's gripped so many people's attention because it's weird. And so, you guys, I know that I still struggle with some shadow banning. So, even if you're watching the replay, make sure that you like this video, leave us a comment, leave us if you're watching the replay, put your flag, whatever country you're watching from, in the comment section. And you guys, before we get into it, Fancy, I just want to show everybody your channel, just in case people are not aware of your channel. Guys, please make sure that you go over to Fancy at the Good Wives Network, give her a subscribe. I think, Fancy, if you haven't already experienced it, you're going to start experiencing the power of the shadow ban too, because when you get really close to the truth, they want to put you in the corner.
Well, they've been trying
And
to put me in the corner for 9 years now, and it just hasn't worked for them. So, bring it on, friends. Like that's the thing. Like I truly believe that we're on a path of truth and righteousness, and I think this is way bigger than anyone ever thought it was going to be. I,
absolutely.
I am shocked daily, and that's hard to do. Like, but every
Yeah.
day I go through something different. There's another piece of evidence out there. There's another this, and it's just like it never ends. It's like the song that never ends. It just goes on and on, my friends, and no one even knows where it started. Like the whole thing. It's insane.
And the cast of characters that revolve around this
Oh my
story
god.
makes it even. Hello, everybody. I know I just noticed a bunch of people in the chat. Hello, everybody.
Hi
Welcome,
guys.
welcome,
Hello
welcome.
everybody.
And and listen, Fancy, my audience, we're all, we know every conspiracy. We've covered every single three-letter agency operation. So nothing you see is going to shock anybody here, because we've all
Right.
and I will have
Right.
to admit, I think I told you, Fancy, it's crazy to imagine that it's only been 11 years since this woman has been in our faces, because I
Yes.
feel like she's just been here forever now.
No,
And
it's so much has happened in that 11 years. It's unfathomable. Like, you hear my actual story. When I get into my story about what happened to me and what they did to me to try and silence me, it sounds insane. But every single one of those things that they did and happened, and it's hard for me because I'm just caught in this chaos constantly with this. And all I'm after is the truth, and
the
I
truth.
think we're very close to having. I'm 99% sure that we're there, and we've got the answers that everybody's been looking for. It's going to take us time to get through all of this information that came out.
To my sorry y'all. My honest opinion had Fancy could have took two roads back then. She could have took the money that would have come along with the silence, but she didn't. She chose truth, and she takes so much shit every day for it. I know, I watch it every day. I watch people shame her, talk about her, and everything else, but she could have took two roads back then. And if she would have took the road of silence, I'm quite sure she'd probably be getting paid to keep her mouth shut, because had she not started this shit, we none of us would be talking even about it, because we would not know about it. She is what started this, and I don't believe that she gets enough credit. Now, I'm not saying that she ain't done some wild shit. And I don't even know most of it. I hear about it, so I can't speak on it. But she takes a lot of shit for it, so I give her credit. I like Fancy. She's not done nothing to me. I'm in her chat all the time, and to me, none of us would have anything to say, and the truth would have never got out had she not opened her mouth so long ago.
The last 2 years, I mean, it has just been barreling forward at us. Just here's this thing, here's 100 videos, here's the FOIA, here's the here's the and we still don't have all the things that we would like. I mean, there's still many.
I won't interrupt again, but what she just said is there's so many things that won't come out. Have y'all noticed? I understand, okay, that the murder. Where is. See, Gypsy Rose was very fucking calculated and smart. She played Nick. Let me tell you, this is my way of seeing things. She built these characters and played Nick on them to have a good side and one that was so dark that he would do these crimes. Then she had one that would play the BMSD, whatever, and then she had the good girl persona. Okay. Now, way back, what she'd do is she would jump. Okay, when the message says that we see, okay, is her setting Nick up. She would say things and have him respond, and then she would jump platforms. So each time she jumped platforms, it was to make Nick look horrible. So she would talk about these nasty things. He would respond to her, and then she would jump to another platform and start a new conversation. Where is all the conversations of the murder? They did not meet until one time, 2 months before the murder was their first time. So where in the fuck are all these conversations that led up to the murder? You know there had to be an ass. Now, I've read that Gypsy destroyed one computer, and we read about it all the time. My mom destroyed it because I ran away and I got caught. No. Gypsy smashed that motherfucker because I guarantee that's where all the good information went. So, the only reason I said that is because she said there's so much more that hadn't come out that will probably never come out. And in my honest opinion, that's where it's at and where probably it'll lay. Because you can't get data from the computer that's no longer here.
Does later this year. It's just
And
how much
Fancy,
more can we take?
how easy would it have been when she got out of prison just to be quiet? She brought this. It's karmic retribution because she kind of brought people investigating this on herself. But I have to give you credit, you guys. If you guys don't know, Fancy is the real whistleblower, that looked through the medical records. And if you guys don't know, Gypsy Rose Blanchard, they had this defense that she unalived her mom because her mom was committing medical abuse, Munchausen by proxy. Right. And we all bought it. And I know you at first got to know the family because I bought it too. And she gets released.
I'm sorry, y'all. Okay, look, her attorney was all up on this shit, right? When she first got out. Was all up in, I'm going to defend Gypsy. When the truth started coming out, that motherfucker was smart and went and hid. Because him and Gypsy are the reason Gypsy's released. I just made a video, and I keep telling y'all there's 3 people that we need to be reaching out to. That's Mike Stanfield, that's Melissa Moore, and that's the FBI. You'll have to go watch my previous video to know those reasons, but I reach out to Mike Stanfield all the time, and the same reason I'm trying to get you guys to reach out to Melissa Moore. These people are going to come out. So if we reach out to them and get them or tell them, hey, the truth is coming out, you can either take accountability now and maybe the world won't treat you as harsh, or you can continue to hide and lie and the world get the same thing Gypsy Rose is going to give you. The world's going to give Gypsy Rose. Does that make sense? So, I tell y'all all the time, those 3 people, and if you have to go watch my last video to know the whole purpose of the FBI, and it completely makes sense.
She was even released, you had found the micro deletion, correct, in her medical files?
No, we had found a test that basically had said that we didn't think she had any chromosome disorder. That's what we had found originally. So this is why all of our medical research was off, because we were still operating under the assumption that that there was no long-lasting effects. That was their whole story, no long-lasting effects. And we started digging into it more in 2024, 2025. I think 2024 is the year I discovered it. I had had a long talk with Mike Weber, who is a Tarrant County investigator out of Texas that deals and specializes in Munchausen by proxy, and they have all been pushed back against me. Like they don't look, they've never looked at anything, they've never seen any medical records, but for whatever reason, these experts are just hell bent on saying this is the worst case of Munchausen by proxy they've ever seen. And so I asked Colleen again. I was like, "Honey, can you please go back over that micro deletion thing that we had ruled out?" And she's like, "We ruled it out." I go, "Yeah, but Ty was so insistent that there was another test, but she wouldn't give it to Colleen. Colleen never seen it, and so we found it. Mid I think like April or May of last year, the actual confirmation that
Yeah.
there was a microdeletion and it was fairly
Sorry.
severe. It's actually twice the national average of other people with this microdeletion. So her bullshit about I'm just partial, I was unscathed, or it's just I'm borderline. No, there's no borderline, honey. You either do or you do not have it. And the more of a deletion that you have, the more problems that you have.
And you can tell, the body keeps the score.
Yes.
When there's a sickness or a disease, you can see it in the body. And I think I told you when she first got arrested, my initial reaction, Fancy, when I saw her was she's sick.
Yes.
And then I got mad at myself because I thought I was
Yes.
judging her too harshly because bless her heart, she's been
Yes.
under the hands of abuse. But my
Right.
initial reaction, because I have eyes,
Right.
this is a sick child. And
Yes.
with any type of chromosome disorders, you're definitely going to see markers on that. Down syndrome is a chromosome disorder. Now, again, I want to say Down syndrome, they don't have, like, if you look at the side effects of the chromosome disorder that Gypsy has, you see a lot of psychological.
Yes. Yes.
It's pretty telling about.
They talk about the psychology of it very much, and it's conditional to even how they're raised and things like that too, because this insane need for attention that she has, this insane, like, I lied to my mother at 6 years old for 13 years. She lied for 13 years by her own words about not being able to walk. That's why the doctors couldn't figure it out. They had everything else. They had everything else. They were treating it because in a microdeletion, like a chromosomal disorder, you don't treat the disorder. You treat the
Right,
symptoms of the disorder.
right,
And so they were
right.
doing that without even knowing what it was. They're okay, here's her ear problems, her eye problems, her muscle problems, or this problem. They were treating all those things. They just didn't know what was causing any of it. And
Right.
and everything else tracks, okay? Everything else that she had done to her tracks for being needed for, and you can see it's needed. You can look at her eyes and know that she needed the surgeries or she'd be blind today. All those things track, except for the inability to walk. Yes, she has muscle tone weakness in both of her, even her fingers, her hands,
Mhm.
her arms, and her lower appendages. It affects the appendages, but not to the point where she couldn't walk. And she lied for 13 stinking years. Her mother
Yeah.
didn't force her to be in that wheelchair.
No.
She put herself in that wheelchair for sympathy and attention. And she talks about it in these massive amount of videos that have recently been released. And I don't know if you've been going down that rabbit hole, but holy crap.
The more that's
This
released,
person is not well. She is
no, the more
not
that's
well.
released, my heart goes out to Dee Dee. I mean, I
Thank
already
you.
felt bad for Dee Dee, but just the more I can't imagine. I'm 43. I'm a little bit younger than Dee Dee was when she lost.
It's just sad that anybody, especially anybody that goes to church, justifies Gypsy fucking Rose playing God and taking a life. That part right there makes me so sick to my stomach. I tell y'all all the time, I found out that I had congestive heart failure. My whole purpose of reaching out or investigating this story is when I found out I had a GoFundMe page. I got no help for damn near 6 months, and finally somebody ended up in my comments and said, "You won't get no help because of people like Gypsy Rose Blanchard and Lisa Richards." I downloaded TikTok, I started investigating, and I'm like, this is ridiculous that people prey on people's hearts. And manipulate people, you see what I'm saying, into things. And that was my whole purpose of starting Gypsy content. Like, these people need to know that these people are out there, because I find it very disgusting. And the more I learned, the more it just made me sick. And yeah, justice for Dee Dee Blanchard.
For life. I
Yeah.
cannot imagine. And you can tell with Dee Dee when she was younger, Fancy, she was beautiful.
She's
Hmm.
She
beautiful.
was,
She had life and she had passion, and this child just sucked all the life out of her, just every ounce of life. And that's what she does to people. She
yeah,
is like a succubus. She just drains the life out of you, and for her, that's what she thrives on, is draining this life, and she does it to lots of people. Like I've said, her body count, in my opinion, is way higher than many serial killers,
yeah,
because she
absolutely.
it's like it's like a predator, a sexual predator, who, when they do what they do to their victims, they leave them dead inside.
And that's how I tell y'all, this copy strike is going to bite Gypsy in the ass, because our videos, even though it's a negative attention, has brought Gypsy so much fucking attention. Even to people that wasn't even aware of Gypsy out there, and then they see our videos, and then they still form their opinion, good or bad. But it brought Gypsy attention, and Gypsy's thrived on that for damn near a year and a half. Now her copy striking people will be less videos, will be less attention. We already know on TikTok over there she had drained a 9.5 million follower, because it was 9.5 million followers of hate. She couldn't go live. She couldn't monetize off of, you see what I'm saying? So she had to start a new one and hope like hell that all her supporters are supporters. When I watched the live yesterday, her first one back on TikTok, there was hate. And for somebody to think they're so fucking conceited that she just pays it no mind. Like, she has no fucking conscience, no self awareness, no integrity, no sympathy. Just, she's all about some fucking Gypsy Rose Blanchard. And I could only imagine what Dee Dee put up with. And that's exactly why she lost her life. She was trying to throw Gypsy out.
Walking around, and that's what she does. She preys
Yeah.
on you, uses you until there's nothing left, and then she just tosses you aside and annihilates you some more.
Yeah.
And it's karma. Because if her mom, listen, if her mom was going to throw her out, all this shit that's going through right now would have been exposed. Gypsy took her mom's life in fucking vain. She thought it was going to silence the truth, and none of this shit was going to come out. And in my opinion, that's exactly why she took her mom's life. If her mom was going to throw her out, it would have led to questions. Questions would have led to, hmm, hmm, hmm. See what I'm saying? And all this shit that she's trying to justify and silence and sweep underneath the rug, it would have come out 10 years ago. But back then, Gypsy would have went to the in prison. She was 23 years old. She was playing a victim in a wheelchair. And if her mom would have exposed Gypsy for that reason, knowing that Gypsy was the one reaching out to all these organizations, because you'll never convince me that Dee Dee was in on that. She just wasn't. Not even one charity benefited Dee Dee. Not one. It all benefited Gypsy Rose Blanchard. Gypsy was the one on that computer fucking with 50-year-old men and reaching out to these organizations. She was sending the mail out. She was intersecting in with the mail. I mean, she was literally intersecting on the messages that, and her mom wasn't getting 90% of them. Even Nick wasn't getting half of them. Like, to have that much fucking power, she fucking makes me blade sick.
Well, and the reason why I want to bring this Zen your comment up here. I absolutely understand that we're not nothing's going to bring Dee Dee back, and nothing. We understand that she can't be rearrested unless it's federal for what she did. But the problem is what Vance and I were talking about backstage is, and I have to say, in my opinion, allegedly, us speculating, this is a bigger story than we even understand, and it has
Yeah.
a lot to do with I believe that the media is complicit
Yes.
in hiding the true story, because of Project Mockingbird, that the Senate in the 1970s actually admitted that they tell.
Thank you. See, guys, that's it. I see. I'm not the only one that's thinking that way. This is way above fucking Greene County. This is what above anything that we can control.
The media what to say,
Which
and
is
there's
great.
always narratives for a
Yep.
reason. So why are
Yep.
they protecting her? And we're going to get into it because with everything that's come out, it does seem like this has ties to the Epstein issue. Like there are just bigger issues happening here, and that's why we're still talking about it. And also on top of that too, I personally, in my opinion, do not think that people around Gypsy are safe.
No.
I
No.
don't think this woman has a soul. I think she's a full, in my opinion, I think she's a full-on psychopath,
Yep.
and she's gotten away with every single terrible, horrible, awful thing she's ever done. She's gotten away with it. And so she's been
Right.
programmed to believe she can do whatever she wants. I really honestly, Fancy, I truly believe this woman thinks that the world revolves around her.
I do.
And
I do.
yeah,
She's very narcissistic. She's got narcissistic traits. She's got psychopath traits. And I did a really interesting video on this the other day, looking at because I was talking with one of the other content creators, and hater or lover, Katie Joy. She is
mhm,
actually very relevant in this whole thing. You don't have to like the messenger to understand the story of the messenger. I've been trying to explain that to people, but she and I were talking about demon, versus psychopath. And she's like, well, demons don't exist because she is atheist.
mhm.
She doesn't believe in it. And when I thought about it and I'm thinking to her, I said, okay, well, she goes, can we just agree to call her a psychopath? And I'm like, fair enough. But that got me thinking, whatever you call it, whether you're going to call it from the sec, the not the secular world of science and all of that and go down that road, or you're going to go down the Catholic road, they're both the
Same.
same.
Yeah,
It's
it's the
the
same.
same. When you come to the end, it's still the same explanation for who it is. So whether you want to believe she's a demon or she's possessed or she's a psychopath, the mental health of it all is the same. It's that
Yeah.
that is what we're describing. And
It's just
I
semantics.
personally,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah,
It's semantics. It's the same thing. Um, and
yes,
this
I'm
is
always by any
again,
other name.
she's a danger. I was telling you off air, I don't want to be over dramatic, but I worry about you guys that cover
Yep.
her consistently. I actually do worry about you guys because she tries
She
to
has
strike.
threatened my life in the past. So
Yeah.
she has. And that was why I told Christy, I was like, you need to be very concerned for Mia. Okay?
Yeah,
Mia is
absolutely.
everything she is not and got everything that she thinks that she should have been entitled to, even though she had a much more charmed life than most of us. I mean, seriously. The trips and
Yeah.
the places and the things that she got to do, nobody gets to do those things. That that's why she did it. That's why she wanted it. That's why she was willing to sit in a chair and not do anything, because she wanted all that attention on her and she
Thank
got it.
you.
She
Yeah.
got the attention. And this thing to me, there is absolutely no way, shape or form that makes sense to me why the government, the media, all of them would be covering up something like this for just some little girl who murdered her mom, or murdered her
Yeah.
mom. I don't understand. So when you put a deeper lens on this, which is what has begun to surface, I mean, the townspeople now are starting to tell the story. They're talking. These FOIAs are coming out, and we're seeing the real relationships between these people that they tried to pretend didn't exist. We see the absolute sheer mental deterioration of Gypsy, and I'm not going to say that she wasn't abused. I just don't believe that Dee Dee abused her. I think
No.
she got into something at 15. She has an obsession with the age 13, and at that time she was pretending to be 13.
Mhm.
And the people that she is with have an obsession with this number 13 as well. It's like a coming of age number, and that's when you become part of this weird ass satanic sexual cult like thing. and
Yeah.
and, it, and it's sad because people think that as soon as you say that, people are like, oh, wait. But if you look at this as a trafficking situation, and there's
Mhm.
lots of evidence for that, Dan, good old Dan the man, he lived with his cousin Brian, and his cousin Brian was arrested and convicted for SA. Mike Stanfield, we never could find a connection between Mike Stanfield and her before this, and we always knew there had to be, because there's no way a public defender is going to enter an appearance and not her
Right?
even being arrested yet. Okay, that's not happening, and
He
it's
was
just not.
he was there to handle the situation. He was like a
Shit,
handler in that
he's a
situation.
handler. That's
And I want to
exactly
say
what.
too, I said this with Crusha as well, and I get this a lot, Fancy, because Luciferianism is huge in our world, whether you want to
It is.
accept it or not. And
Right.
it doesn't matter if you don't believe in the Luciferian religion. It doesn't matter if you don't believe in the practices that they do. They do believe in it, and that's what matters. They're
They
doing
do.
it. They do. It doesn't matter if you think it's ridiculous. This is a reality. This is why there was a temple on Epstein's island. Like, this
Right.
is a reality. This is what's going on in that park in
Yes.
California up in, with the owl.
Yep.
Like, this is
It's how the
a
foster
reality.
care system loses over 100,000 children a year. Okay,
Absolutely.
like this is a bigger deal, and when you
Yeah.
look at this from a lens of a trafficking lens, everything makes sense. It then begins to put the pieces into place that this is a much larger thing, which I've been screaming from the hilltops forever, and now I finally have this proof. These men have been arrested. Mike Stanfield defended a guy that Gypsy was in love with from from the Vigicon all the way back in 2007, and he's on the run since 2009. They've not been able to get him and bring him in. This Luciferian thing, they do believe in it. They say that they're
Yeah.
possessed. They say that this, that. These people are not normal. And
No.
now we've got conflicting stories between the witnesses. Like, I don't know if you saw my thing about the cabbies, the cab drivers, but
Tell
the
me.
one cab driver, she originally talks to the officer and is talking about a man on the 14th of June, not the 8th, not the 9th of June, not the 10th of June, the 14th of June. And she's so convinced that he's got this accent, and he says he's from Wisconsin, and he looked at the windows, and he da da da. And you know what? That is true. And he was picked up. This man was picked up 4 minutes away. Four minutes away from where Dan and Brian Rogers lived at that time.
Yeah.
4 minutes away. You're not telling me there's some sort of weirdness going on here? Then they had to call that cab driver back and say to her, wait a minute. We also see on your log you picked up a man, or you picked up a man from the Days Inn, and you took, or you, I'm sorry, you picked up them from, no, you picked them up from the Days Inn. Yes, you picked them up from the Days Inn, and you took them out to the house as well, and that was on the 10th. Well, I don't remember that. And then all of a sudden, they keep telling her little bits of information, and her story changes. She gets to court, that 14th, the drive on the 14th is not mentioned in the effing least. They don't question her about it. They don't ask anything. And when she says that, the only thing they ask about the Wisconsin accent, she basically takes her whole story back and is like, oh, well, I don't even know what a Wisconsin accent sounds like. What?
Yeah. Yeah.
What? Just,
Do you think people are paid off too on the side? Do you think that there are some people that are being paid off to
yes,
follow the because money talks?
yes, yes, yes. And I
Yeah.
think this is tied to some pretty dangerous people in the
Yeah.
Springfield and Louisiana area. I think that I mean, I put out the other day, I found motive for Rod and the Petrie family in this, and why they would go along with everything. Rod took a 33% pay cut, um, just months before all of this, and he was not being able to send money. Things were really bad. He was dipping into savings and everything. And I don't know if you guys know anything about the oil industry, but when they bust, everyone loses. And I'm not
Yeah.
talking like, oh, I have to move my home, or no, these are millions and billions of dollars that were being lost between 2014 and 2016.
Yeah. Oh, did I lose Fancy? Can
The
you hear me?
largest before that were very, 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 very profitable. And when this happened, the it fell so fast that it had been a decade before that anything like this had happened, and that had taken years to happen.
convenient. This was at the least fancy. This was a convenient
Yes.
way for Rod to make some money.
Yes.
And I think there's more to it.
And
We'll
the
get
Petrie
into it.
family.
I think there's more to it than just a convenient way, because let me tell you, if my sister was unalived by my niece, I don't know if money would be the first thing on my mind. And there's a
They
lot.
talk-
Sorry.
They talked to Bobby Petrie, her nephew brother, kind of, that whole situation. And on the 14th, before she was even found, before Gypsy was found, anything, and he's already mentioning Munchausen by proxy. Bobby Petrie, who's a kid when they were growing up, when Gypsy was there. He's a kid. How would he know Munchausen by proxy? The woman hasn't even been found, and you're already telling horrible tales about her. Why? What were you planning?
There's a script. There's a narrative that's being spun.
I've got another little gem for you. Did you know that Daddy messaged her on the Snow Gypsy account on the 15th at 1:00 in the afternoon? Just call me, boo. Daddy will come get you. Then on the 16th, after she'd been arrested, he did the same thing, same message in her email account. This is planned. All the bags all over everywhere. Do you realize what that was? That was truthfully her mother packing her up and telling her, "You have to go. I can't do this anymore with you."
Well, let's back up a little bit, because that is literally, the more and more stuff comes out, the more my heart breaks for Dee Dee, because she seems like she was a very sweet woman who loved her daughter. She was in a desperate situation because they weren't wealthy, and God bless her. Like, I don't really hold that against her for any scams she ran, because she was just trying to put food on the table. She couldn't work.
I don't even see the scams anymore. Every scam leads back to her daughter and the people that she's involved with, not her. I think she might have known some of the things that Gypsy and these doctors and people were doing. I think she probably knew about the eBay account, all of those kind of things. But I don't think she actively participated in anything from 2009
Thank you.
on. And before 2005,
Thank
everything
you.
is normal.
I've been screaming that.
Normal for a sick, chronically ill child. There's no charities being freaking scammed here. She's holding movie nights in her backyard for the entire neighborhood. That's not a scam. She's providing the movie. She's providing seating. She's only charging for refreshments and sodas and candy and stuff. So where is the con for Dee Dee? Where?
I mean, Dee Dee, and here's the thing. I think we talked about this before, Fancy. I am of the belief that Dee Dee kind of kept Gypsy away, like it kind of like did when we were in school, was because Dee Dee knew that Gypsy was a danger to other children. I think she
was
knew.
thrown out of her first school. She was.
Now, that's where some of my opinion is different right there. I believe Gypsy, when she got caught in the doctor's office and that doctor was catching on to Gypsy, I believe Gypsy was pushing people away. I believe she was making it hard for her and her mom to be around people, because if these people watched Gypsy long enough, they would have caught on to that. Does that make sense? I think Gypsy pushed people away. I think Gypsy encouraged her way into homeschooling. I think Gypsy kept her boyfriends away from her mom ever having a relationship, because, you see what I'm saying? All right. Every tale that Gypsy tells about her mom, Gypsy was in the wheelchair, right? Gypsy's mom dumped her in the shed. Everything that she says includes her mom pushing her around. If her mom was in on it, why would she have done that? She would have just told Gypsy, take your ass to the fucking shed. See what I'm saying? Anything that Gypsy says about that wheelchair, 90% of it is behind closed doors in the wheelchair. If her mom was in on it, why the hell would her mom would just dump her out? You see what I'm saying? I believe Gypsy. All right, look how many videos we got. Look how much time Gypsy's spending alone. Now, I think that's why the windows were blocked out, but not because of her mom. I believe Gypsy, like we see, making these fucking videos behind Dee Dee's back, walking around that house. See what I'm saying? But it had nothing to do with her mom. Nothing to do with her mom. Because some of the things that Gypsy tells in her book just don't make sense for Dee Dee to be in on it and still be pushing Gypsy in the wheelchair in the house. We literally have one video of Gypsy in the fucking wheelchair in the house. If her mom was in on that, that makes no sense. Every other video that we have, Gypsy's walking around and her mom's not there.
Because she was a problem.
Yeah.
I think Dee knew was very well aware of what she had, and she just didn't know what to do. She was a
Yeah.
mother struggling with this. Rod's a deadbeat dad. I mean, for all intents and purposes, I don't even care that he has this relationship with her on freaking Facebook, and they have a wonderful relationship. If you start going through the messages, Dee Dee has a wonderful relationship. Sorry, I
Yeah.
got the hiccups with them.
Yeah.
You know, and it's all love and care and everything. And then the second she's dead, all of you want to come out here and just say the most heinous things about her. Like, what is wrong with you?
Well, so I want for my audience to, so that kind of really, and that's what's been so gobsmacking. And of course, I think we were already speculating that maybe the story about Dee Dee keeping them away from Rod was maybe not true, but now we actually have the proof because of the FOIAs. Every single thing that is mentioned in those documentaries is a lie. It's Project Mockingbird. It's a story. It's a lie. Because Dee Dee was in communication with them all the time. She was even kind to Rod about child support because she knew that he was taking a hit in his because of the oil, and she was very supportive and praised him for everything he was doing. She was.
And I'd like to just say, and then I won't. Maybe I'll interrupt one more time. I'm just kidding. I've been asking people on this YouTube for probably 6 months now to show me a video I can show my news guy that talks about all this stuff from the top to the bottom, the inside, the out. I can't send him to 10 creators with 100 different videos and you see what I'm saying? Different perspectives. I needed one video I could send him that shows him what we're trying to explain. And from right now, I'm only 26 minutes in, and I'm recording this because this is going to my news guy. This is what I have been begging people to do. So, thank you, Fancy Maselli and Erotic Atlanta. This is what I've been begging for. I needed something I could show him that, in one good freaking video without just my words and my narrative. See?
Very loving. And now, so they get to Missouri. Now, with the Missouri thing, we know that happened all around Hurricane Katrina. I don't probably think Dee Dee ever assumed they would end up living there. I think that was just a coincidence of events. Would you say, Fancy? And then they.
I don't know. I think she wanted away from her family.
Now, I have a thing with Hurricane Katrina. All right. There's a document. It's like a little article. Okay, it's signed with an E. I believe anything that was signed with an E, Gypsy Rose Blanchard was behind. Let me tell you why. The disciplinary notes, I said that wrong, disciplinary notes in prison were signed with an E. When Gypsy was arrested, she spelt her name wrong again with an E, as well as dumbing her age down. If her mom was behind that, Gypsy would have explained it. Right then, my mom was behind. See what I'm saying? Now, in an article, it was explained with an E. Now, Gypsy, in one of her, see it's either her first or second show. There was a hurricane that was coming through. Okay, her and Ken are speaking to each other, and Ken goes, "Where?" In other words, Gypsy was acting all erotic. Oh my God, the world's gonna end. So Ken goes, "Where is what's her name? What's her name? Krusty. Where's Krusty?" Gypsy says she's asleep. The same thing my mom was doing during the first hurricane. See what I'm saying? If all this shit was going down, you were scattering, you see what I'm saying? All this, and this. Why would your mom have been sleeping? She slipped up and she said that. Now, do I believe that their apartment got perhaps flooded and they may be milked off of that subject or something? Because, there's no denying it. They would have needed help. But do I think that Dee Dee did it intentionally and was spiteful about it? No. But also, Gypsy having an electric wheelchair, she would not have needed to be on the streets in a wheelchair with fucking flooding water. Does that make sense? To me, that's why Gypsy got airlifted out of there. You've got all this water and you got a child, a disabled child, air quotes, and there's fucking flooding places everywhere. It makes sense for Gypsy to be airlifted away from the water. She couldn't very well be pushing her ass through the whip. See what I'm saying? I don't think that had anything to do with a grift, a con, or anything else.
Family are lots of bad people. Okay, they do bad things. They are not on the up and up. They're very much criminalistic families and generational family curse kind of thing, on both sides. Rod's father, for heaven's sakes, was a breaking and entering thief. And I don't know if you understand all of that, but the family dynamic down there is so fucking crazy. So Rod is a product of incest himself. His mother, yes, okay, so his grand.
Now, holy shit. Okay, I've been telling y'all for the longest. You can go back. Everything that I'm speaking of, you can go back and I think I have damn near 1,000 videos. So that's a lot of videos, but go back. I've been saying that from day one. Microdeletion, incest is an offspring of microdeletion. And the reason I tell you that is because I looked up, or I ChatGPT'd microdeletion, and it came up with this, or everybody else comes with. Okay, well then ow, my mouth. Oh, y'all, I have a bad toothache. So I kept asking it, and then it started slowly talking about incest. So I finally was like, so is incest an offspring of microdeletion? And it basically said yes, but no, but yes. So that's when I started telling people, I'm like, look, this shit it's like an offspring, and nobody believed me. Nobody believed me.
Mother slept with her son, and they had like 12 kids or whatever, and one of them is Rod's father. And so, this whole story back in the day where Gypsy was talking about how she was betrothed to another boat captain and whatever.
And her mom tested negative for microdeletion, so that means it had to come from fucking Rod.
I fully believe that. I fully believe that that's how it goes on down there. They are all married to their cousins. It's provable by their family tree. They've admitted this before,
and I've been told that Rod and Christy are what? I don't know what cousins. 6, 7, 5, number 1. I don't know. But either way, down the line, they're fucking first cousins.
This is where this deletion is coming from.
I was about to say, but from what I researched, they worded it very medically about
yes.
the DNA was similar, and I'm like, That's
Mhm.
that means it's like
Mhm.
that.
Yeah.
Let's just
Yeah.
call a spade a spade. Like,
Right. And so I really think that her
And that is exactly why Gypsy was hell bent to keep that micro delusion off her fucking famed name fame to name to fame, whatever. I think Gypsy did not want that to come out, and then when we brought so much out of proof, she had to come out. Then when she came out, she had to distance herself even again by saying, "Oh, I'm unscathed from it." If Gypsy had those problems, that's what I'm saying. If Gypsy's true intentions were to do this shit medically, why not just use it for your advantage from your own fucking illness? But Gypsy wanted to distance herself because of the incest relationship with it. Does that make sense?
King Katrina presented her a way to get out and get away from these people. And I think she thought she was doing the best thing for Gypsy and herself. And then what happens is she happens to fall in with this Vigicon crowd. And Dee Dee was a member of Vigicon in 2006, making Gypsy 15 years old. So while they were in Aurora, they were already members of Vigicon. And Gypsy was introduced to these men at 15. They obviously did things to her because she talks about these things, and she's very sexually charged, and I think she was already sexually charged, and then these deviants began grooming her. I think they also groomed Nick. It is a cult, and it is tied to the higher ups in the area, and they all participate in this. And I think Dee Dee had enough. I think they had threatened her for years. They were either going to, kill her or her daughter. And I think in 2015, with being as sick as she was, and she was done. She's like, I can't do this anymore. Get out
yeah.
of my, get out of my freaking house, dude. Get out of my house. No, you're not bringing some other guy to live here. No, you're not. You know what? I'll just get the nurses to come full time, because I don't know if you guys understand, there were nurse aides coming to their house on a regular basis for both of them. There were tutors coming to the house. So it's not like that nobody was in this house, nobody saw her. No, no, everyone saw her.
And you can
Everyone.
tell Gypsy has an education. She was reading Harry Potter. She wasn't
Game of
neglected.
Thrones.
Yes.
Not Game of Thrones.
She's
I'm sorry. What's the other one? Tolkien. Tolkien.
yeah,
Okay, look, I have a hard time reading Tolkien. I got a big ass brain. I have a hard time reading Tolkien. Okay?
yeah,
Like, let me tell you.
yeah. So she
This
wasn't
this man is
neglected.
freaking fairy tale shit. No, she wasn't neglected. She wasn't. And I've spent so many years talking about the fact that she wasn't abused by her mom, and I don't believe she was. But I do now believe she was abused by others. I do. And I think that they groomed her into this, and it's some pretty disgusting stuff. And that's one of the reasons why we can't just let this case go. This is no longer about a girl who killed her mom
Thank
for a
you.
guy. Okay,
Yeah.
this is not that anymore. This is
It's something
way
way
bigger than
bigger.
that. It's very insane, and it's just, the more we look, the bigger it snowballs into getting. I found a group that dates back to just like 6 days after the the finding of Dee Dee's body, and let me tell you, the information inside of there is shocking.
Well, and that's
Very
why I
shocking.
pulled up Paula Kenda. Well, I hope I'm saying your name right. Yeah, this is why. So why would the media lie about the story? Well, that's Project Mockingbird. There has to
Right.
be a motive, possibly keep hidden the participant. Exactly. This is what it's not about Gypsy. They're not protecting Gypsy. They're protecting themselves.
Yep.
Themselves.
And I
Because they're all
wonder.
complicit in this. I know what they had. I know what they did. And that's why they're all mad, so mad at me, because I've blown the whistle on everybody, not just this little girl who murdered her mom. Like, no,
Yeah.
I've blown it on everybody, because I know what HBO had, and I know what they knew, and I know when they started fucking filming. They were
And that
filming
just
before
proves the
ever
point
made the
even
entrance
more.
in.
Fancy, that proves the point even more because HBO started doing all this stuff before. I mean, what about the justice system? What about
June
the
23rd. June 23rd is when Erin Lee Carr is part of this group. She becomes part of this group in just 6 days. 6 days.
yeah, it's not, that's not, so you get a tainted jury. You've spun the narrative with when the most foremost major networks in the United States, it's also global, and it's got absolutely.
Sorry.
So here's the thing I was telling you, Fancy, like if she had just gotten out of prison and been quiet, I think we all might have kind of just continued buying the story. But the fact that she couldn't stop, she's addicted to
Social media.
fame and to social
Yeah.
media. I don't
So it's
think that I think the one thing that Dee Dee really did wrong was that she spoiled her. And
Yes.
so she never learned like accountability, especially being an
No
only child
consequences.
too, not having siblings around. Like, I think she just does not know how to function in society.
No.
And she can't, no, they can't necessarily put her back in jail, Dorothy. I mean, the federal government technically, I think, could still file charges.
Well, here's the thing. If this goes past what we think it goes into, then yes, there is a very big possibility with everybody digging like we are, and we're informing the police and we're informing FBI. There is a very good possibility that they could all be charged in various different ways for various different things. Um, there is. It just, um, I just, but it's going to take a long road still. We're
We
still,
got to keep pushing.
we still have to be pushing. We still have to go because there are people out here that are very dangerous, dangerous people preying on children that are 13, 14 years old and pretending that they are a family function, and that this is family friendly. Meanwhile, what's going on behind the scenes, and as we all know, these kind of events.
This is so much more than like even what I wanted. This right here is, I have one link to send to so many people that just spills it all out about this, and I've been begging for this for months. I mean, to me, what y'all are seeing, I don't know how you feel about it, but to me, this is epic. It's numbing it all down, especially putting the media exactly where it needs to be in the front. See what I'm saying? In the front where it needs to be. That's exactly why I keep telling my news guy this is so much more than Gypsy Rose Blanchard. This is a secret that should not be a fucking secret because they're too scared to do their fucking job. That's what you get paid to do, is tell us the fucking truth of what goes on in the news. So if they're willing to hide something like this, what else are they fucking lying about? That's their job, is to tell the truth.
Super Bowls, sporting events, crime cons, comic cons. They're all hotbeds for what? Trafficking.
Yep.
That they're
When
all hotbeds for it.
I remember, Fancy, when it was, I think it was the Super Bowl that was.
I'm going to pause this. I'm going to start it again because I can't send it to over 60 minutes. So be right back.